Hi everyone. Welcome back to Unite Pieces channel. Today we are going to tell you about an action, thriller, sci-fi movie, titled Sector 7. Sector 7 tells the story of a ferocious and terrifying monster that awaits at a depth of 8,000 feet, in the ocean off the southern tip of Jeju Island, Korea. And the surviving oil miners must fight to survive its pursuit. So, make sure you watch this video till the end, for a better experience. The movie tells the events of 1985, set in the Sector 7 oil refinery, off the coast of Jeju Island, South Korea. An officer was inspecting a damaged oil pipeline, but the man was surprised by the appearance of a giant animal, thought to be an ancient whale. As soon as the ground he stepped on became cracked, the male officer saw another oddity, which was a glowing fish with a large number, until it amazed him. However, it was actually a sign of a disaster. "20 years later, located still at an offshore oil refinery, where there was a drilling failure, leaving the men struggling to repair it. A woman named Hae-joon came down to help the men, and it was discovered that Hae-joon was the only female worker at the refinery. After a while of struggle, they finally managed to repair the damage. It's revealed that drilling failures at the refinery have been happening for years. Due to Sector 7 being on top of the rocks, all their efforts have always failed, until it's finally decided that all crews will be returned, and work stopped. However, Hae-joon refuses the decision. Joon believes that the refinery will succeed in finding the oil it's looking for. Hae-joon dares to say that because Joon is the heir to the oil refinery. After that, Joon gets treatment for a torn shoulder due to overexertion before. Soon after, Kim Dong-soo comes there to accompany Joon, and it is revealed that they are a couple. On the other hand, a beautiful doctor named Kim was with other crew members, where they were curious about the glowing fish kept in the aquarium. Dr. Kim then explained that the fish was a rare species of fish that lived at the bottom of the sea. Suddenly, a stupid crew member tried to play with the fish, but it turned out that the fish was dangerous, biting the man, even releasing poison on him. However, they considered the bite to be normal. The next day, the crew captain ordered them to gather and prepare their belongings, because they were going to be pulled back from the base to the mainland. However, Joon again refused the order, and decided to stay at the oil refinery. When the pickup took place, the entire crew was picked up using a helicopter, and a captain named Jung Man, who was none other than Joon's uncle, came to the oil refinery. Jung Man was assigned to pick up the entire crew, but because there were still crews who stayed, Jung Man decided to accompany them. Jung then met with other crew members who were still staying. Jung was very familiar with the location at the oil refinery, because previously Jung was the one who had led this oil refinery with Hae-joon's father. It was revealed that the dead man shown at the beginning of the movie was Hae-joon's father. At that time they were partying to welcome the arrival of their former captain. At that time Jung persuaded his uncle to stay, and once again carry out oil drilling. Seeing his nephew's strong desire, Jung Man also agreed. The captain of the crew initially agreed to stay, but Uncle Jung also persuaded the captain, until finally the captain gave permission. Then they began to carry out the procession before drilling. They immediately took action. Unexpectedly it turned out that their efforts paid off. They also found crude oil from the results of the drilling. 3 months passed. Their life on the oil rig was normal. Joon and his boyfriend even had time to ride their motorcycles on the rig. But one day, another accident happened when Joon went down to repair a pipe with another male crew member. During the repair, the rope suddenly came loose, and they started to sink. It all happened because the crew member in charge of holding the rope was not focused, so it made the rope come loose, and eventually made the crew member who went down with Joon drown. While Joon survived, although he felt traumatized and guilty about the incident. When Joon was treated by Dr. Kim, Kim asked something strange. Did Joon see something at the bottom of the sea? Before he could answer that question, Soo suddenly came to see Joon, causing Dr. Kim to leave the room. Kim went up to the top of the oil refinery and seemed to be brooding. Suddenly Kim was approached by a lame guy who liked her. While their conversation was going on, other crew members saw the two of them, and suspected that the lousy crew had been dating Dr. Kim. On the other hand, Joon seemed to have come to his senses. Joon sat in the crane control room, until suddenly shocked by the fall of Dr. Kim from above. After that the body was taken for autopsy, and they suspected that Dr. Kim died because of the actions of a lousy man, because they last saw Dr. Kim with him. After examining the body, they find a strange liquid on Dr. Kim's body, but they assume that it is sperm, thus making the brackish man even more accused as a suspect. However, the man claims that he left shortly before Dr. Kim was found dead, so it is clear that he is not the culprit. On the other hand, because she felt something was wrong, June began to investigate the place where Dr. Kim died, where June found strange colored liquids in various corners of the room. Meanwhile, the senior doctor who was in charge of autopsying Dr. Kim's corpse was suddenly killed by something. Coincidentally, at that time there was only a lousy man with him, so it made him even more accused as a suspect. But when they were about to arrest the lousy man, they realized that a monster had gotten into the oil refinery. Immediately after that, the crew notified Uncle Jung, so Uncle Jung led the hunt to hunt down the monster. During the hunt, they seemed to be able to subdue the strange creature, but in reality the creature could not be harmed with their weapons. They tried various ways to finish it, but all of them failed. Thus making them have to escape from the monster's pursuit. They entered the elevator and took refuge there. After the situation was deemed safe, the captain noticed something strange about Captain Jung Man's response and reaction. The captain asked why Uncle Jung could tell if there was oil on the creature's body, because before that Uncle Jung tried to burn it. Here, Uncle Jung finally revealed the truth about his past, that it was Jung who created the monster. It all started when they were testing a species of glowing seabed fish. After they found out that the fish secreted oil from inside its body, Uncle Jung secretly started experimenting, thus accidentally making the fish mutate into a monster, and Dr. Kim and his seniors used to work with him during the experiment. Therefore, before the experiment was leaked, Uncle Jung killed Dr. Kim and his seniors. When the tense situation was going on, suddenly the monster appeared and tried to eat them. They immediately ran away, but at that time Uncle Jung almost died eaten by the monster. Fortunately, Uncle Jung managed to grab the chemical liquid and poured it on the monster's body, giving himself time to escape. Meanwhile, the crew finds the only way to destroy the monster, which is by using the refinery's now dead energy reactor. They had to restart it in order to run all the security facilities in this oil refinery, including the weapons. With that they can destroy the ferocious monster. They then split up. June and Soo head for the engine room, while the others look for shelter while treating one of the injured crew. When they get to the engine room, June finds a nest that is suspected of being a breeding ground for the monster, and coincidentally the button to activate the energy reactor is behind the nest. After the energy reactor was activated, the rest of the crew tried to find shelter while looking for weapons, but on the way, the monster managed to follow them and killed one by one of the group. On the other hand, Uncle Jung, who managed to survive the monster attack, deliberately went to the control room and activated the time bomb to blow up the oil refinery. June and Soo, who knew this, felt panic and tried to turn off the time bomb, but their efforts were in vain. In the midst of the panic, they saw that Uncle Jung Man bravely challenged the monster to a fight. Unexpectedly, Uncle Jung managed to stick a spear into the monster's mouth and immediately set it on fire. However, not long after, the monster immediately finished off Uncle Jung Man. Fortunately, the monster returned to the ocean due to severe burns. Suddenly, Soo got caught in the tentacles of the monster and almost got carried away by the ocean, and was almost eaten. Fortunately, June managed to save her by pulling her on a motorcycle. However, their tranquility was short-lived, as the monster climbed back up to the oil refinery and attacked Soo. Although at first Soo managed to survive, but in the end Soo succumbed and was eaten by the ferocious monster. June was now alone and clashed with the monster. With all his efforts, June tried to kill the monster by blowing it up, but as before the monster was completely unharmed. So that made June immediately run to the drilling site and lure the monster to get closer to him. Once it was really close, June immediately dropped the drill pipe on the monster's head and killed it. Shortly thereafter, the time bomb that had previously been installed began to explode and destroyed the oil refinery. Fortunately, June managed to escape by riding a motorcycle and threw himself into the sea. Soon a rescue helicopter came and rescued him, and the movie ended. This movie gives us an idea of never giving up, and tells us not to be stubborn. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you tomorrow.